Hello, my dear students. Welcome back. So today we'll continue with the part 3 for chapter 16, light. Okay. So you can also refer to page 201 to 216, your NCRT science textbook. Okay. Now, in the last class, we have discussed about the multiple image, right? So today we'll discuss about we'll discuss about dispersion of light. Okay. And this dispersion of light. And after this dispersion of light, we'll discuss about the human eye, okay? The human eye. Okay, dispersion of light. Now, students in class 7 that you have already studied that light, about the rainbow, about the scattering of light, right? So now, this dispersion of light is defined as splitting, okay? The splitting of white light into 7 different color, okay? Splitting of white light into 7 different color is known as dispersion of light. And the most common example is the natural phenomenon that we have, that is rainbow, okay? Formation of rainbow. Now, one example is, see, the source of light, I'm taking sunlight, okay? The source of light, I'm taking sunlight. Now, let's say we'll keep a prism here, okay? A glass prism. Glass prism. Now, prism is a transparent, it's a wedge shape, okay? It's a wedge shaped. Now, it has a rectangular and a triangular face, okay? Now, if a light ray, white light, okay, white light. Now, you have already studied in class 7 that light travel in a straight line, right? Light travel in a straight line. So now this is a white light and this falls in the prism, okay? Now light, it is white in color and it falls in this prism, okay? And the source of light we are taking is sunlight, clear? Now here I'll place a white screen, okay? A white screen. So this is a white screen. Clear? This is a white screen. Now what will happen? What you will get to see in this white screen? Now we have placed a prism here, okay? And white light is coming from this direction. So what we'll see? We'll see 7 different colors. And it will be in the form of, the shortcut would be this one, okay? This is a short way. Vibgyor. This is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Clear? So this is a simple example of dispersion of light. Now, if you placed another glass prism invertedly, okay, this we have 2 prism right now. See, now this is another example. Now we have 2 prism, but this shape is now now we have an inverted shape. Clear? Then, and we'll place the white screen over here. So now what we will get to see? Now we'll get to see only white light. Clear? So this was all about dispersion of light. The basic topic, okay, the basic definition and example of dispersion of light you have studied in class 7. So even in class 8, you should know the definition and you should know the example, okay? We should know the example. Okay, so we are done with dispersion of light. Now we will discuss about the human eye, okay? Human eye. Now human eye, why it's very important? It's one of the most sensitive and the most important sense organ in our body. Clear? It's very sensitive, and like I have said, eye and light together give us what? Sight. Okay, eye and light give us a sight. Just without light is also not possible. Without eye is also not possible. Clear? So now we are going to discuss about the human eye. You can also refer your textbook to page 201 and 216. Okay. Okay. So human eye. So my dear class 8 student, even in class 10 as well, you are going to study the human eye. Okay. The same topic you are going to study in details in class 10. Now, so you have to remember all the important points. Clear here. Now, our eye is roughly spherical in shape, okay? It is roughly spherical in shape. Spherical in shape. Now, student, see, we have a transparent membrane in our eye. Okay, we have a transparent membrane in our eye. And what does this transparent membrane? What is the role of this transparent membrane? Now, it also, yes, it protects our eye. Okay, it protects our eye, but the most important thing is the bending of light takes place because of here, okay, because of this transparent membrane. And the name of this transparent membrane would be cornea, okay, cornea, C-O-R-N-E-A, cornea, okay. So see, if you just look at the mirror and see, okay, you will see the transparent part, okay, your eye is covered with the transparent thing, so that is known as a cornea, okay, cornea. So this is the first one. So let's say this is just a rough diagram, okay? So let's say this is our cornea. Cornea. Okay, now we'll have, now this is our cornea. Clear? Now this is our cornea, and after cornea, okay, now just here we'll find a liquid form, okay, a liquid form, and that is known as aqueous humor, okay, aqueous humor. So you just remember the name, clear, aqueous humor. The detail about the aqueous humor, A-Q-U-E-O-U-S, aqueous humor, you will study in class 10. So this is not mentioned in your text, but after this cornea, we'll have a fluid, a liquid present in the eye, okay, and that is known as aqueous humor. Now here, student, here we'll have like this, okay. Now see, do you see the black, some of you have different eye color, right? Some of you have black in color, a little brownish in color, a dark brown in color, right? So this one is that part, okay, and that is known as iris. Clear? Iris. Now, iris is actually what we call the color of the eye. Okay, iris is actually what we call the color of the eye. So, this one, the color of iris, it will vary, okay, according to race as well. Clear? So, now this is iris, and just here in between, there is a small opening, okay, and there's a small opening, and that is known as pupil, okay, pupil. P-U-P-I-L, pupil. Now here we have iris. So behind the cornea, there is an iris, okay? There is an iris. Now the very important part of this iris is, iris control the amount of the light entering our eye, okay? Now you can note this one down. Iris control the amount, okay, the amount of light entering our eye. Now, one very important thing you have to remember is that too much of sunlight or too much light is also not good for our eye, okay. Too much of eye would damage our retina, okay, retina. And retina I will explain, okay, retina you will find here at the back. But too much of eye, sunlight will also damage our retina. And if there is less light, okay, then if there is insufficient light, that will also cause headache, okay, headache and eye strain. So see, like I have said, our human eye is very sensitive, right? So we should take care of it. Okay, so now this iris, it controls the amount of light entering our eye, right? And here we have a small opening, okay, this is a small opening that is pupil. Clear? Now see, when there is too much sunlight, okay, this iris, it will contract, okay, it will contract. Now when there is insufficient light, the iris will it will relax. Clear? Okay, so that is all about this iris. And what is this small opening? Okay, it is dark in color. It is dark in color. Why it is dark in color? Because there is no reflection here, and light enters from here. Okay, inside our eye. Light enters through this opening. Now see, if in the front part you'll see, this is our iris, right? This is the iris. Now here there's a small opening that is dark in color, right? So that is pupil, okay? Pupil. Now light will enter our eye like through here, inside. Clear? Now this is just the outer part, but there is a lot happening inside, in the internal part of the eye, okay? And that's an amazing machine, okay? So now light enters from here. Now what happens? Here, my dear students, we'll have a lens here, okay? We'll have a lens here, and that will be a biconvex lens. Biconvex lens inside our eye. Clear? Now, in exam, like if they ask like what type of lens is present, okay, inside the eye, right below the pupil, then that is a convex lens. Clear? So convex lens, the shape will be like this. Clear? See, it will be thicker in the center. Clear? Thicker in the center, thinner at the edge. Thicker at the center. So now see, light enters our eye through this pupil, and from here there is a convex lens. Clear? And now here we have, so after pupil we have lens, and now here we have muscles, okay? Muscles. And do you know the name of that muscles? That is ciliary muscles. Ciliary, ciliary muscles. Now, what is the role of these ciliary muscles? These ciliary muscles, they hold our eye lens in position, okay? The ciliary muscles, these muscles, they hold our eye lens in position. Now, see, if this ciliary muscles becomes weak, okay? If this becomes weak, then they will not be able to hold our eye lens in position, right? In that way, even the vision will be affected, okay? Okay, so now this lens, okay, this lens is a very sensitive part of the eye. Clear? So we have discussed about the iris, pupil, lens, and ciliary muscles. Now, from here, right at the back of the eye lens, we have a retina here, okay? On the back, we have retina here. That is R-E-T-I-N-A. Now, this retina is like a TV screen, okay? It's like a TV screen inside our eye. It's like a TV screen inside our eye. Now see, it's amazing, right? Because even if you don't see, if you imagine something, okay? If you imagine, say, Paris, or maybe, if you say, maybe London, okay? So if you just close your eyes and imagine, you get a picture, right? In a big screen inside your eye, right? So that is retina, okay? So retina is like a TV screen in our eye. So from here, light enters inside our eye through this pupil, and now we have a lens here, a convex lens here. Now the image will converge, okay? Now it will reach the retina, okay? Retina. Now this retina is like a screen in the eye, but here you have to remember two important points under retina, okay? Two important points under retina. So I'll write here, okay? Retina, and then you have two important names, that is rods and cones, okay? These rods and cones are sensitive cells, and inside the retina we have millions of rods and cone cells, okay? Inside the retina we have millions of rods and cone cells. And what is the role of these rods? What is the role of these cones? Now, See, these rods respond to the intensity of light. Okay, and these cones, it respond to the intensity of color. Now, if you don't have these cones, or if your cones is damaged, then you will not be able to differentiate between colors. Clear? Now, some people are born like colorblind. Okay. Now, why? Because they are not able to differentiate between colors. Why? Because they don't have these cones inside the retina. Clear? So this retina is very important. Now, what did I say? I said that too much of sunlight or too much of light will damage your retina, right? So we should be careful. So now this iris, okay, this iris, they adjust the size of the pupil, okay? They adjust our eye accordingly. It's automatic, okay? When there's too much sunlight to protect the retina, this iris, it contracts. Clear? Now, so you write, for rods, you write it respond to the intensity of light, and for cones, you write it respond to the intensity of color, okay? So these are rod cells and cone cells. Now we have a blind spot here, okay? So this is like the junction. This is like the junction. This is like the junction here. Now there is no image formed in this blind spot. This is a blind spot. Now we'll see here, okay, in this junction we'll see a millions of fiber, a millions of tissue here, and that is known as optic fiber. Optic fiber. So students, if you see something, okay, you have to focus, and then you have to get the reflection, and then you'll visualize it, and then the image, the information is passed to your brain, right? See, so whenever you are seeing something, okay, now the image is formed in the retina. This is like the TV screen, okay. Now from here, through this optic fiber, okay, it passes a signal to the brain. It passes a signal to the brain, okay. So that's how you know that after seeing an object, you visualize it and you are able to differentiate it, right? You are able to see your friend, and then you remember, you have to focus. After seeing your friend, if you remember his name, right? So all this take place through this signal. Electric, there is a signal, okay? There is an information which is passed to the brain from retina. In retina, all the images are formed, but the signal is passed to the brain through this optic fiber, okay? So now, all the points you have to remember: cornea, iris, pupil, we have this lens, we have ciliary muscles, we have a blind spot here, we have retina, and under retina you have to remember rods and cones, and then we have this optic fiber, which plays a role, important role in transmitting visual information to the brain, okay? Transmitting visual information to the brain. So if this optic fiber is damaged, then you will not be able to remember, right? Because information is not being passed to the brain. Clear? So we are done with the human eye, students. Now we'll discuss about the defects of vision. Okay, defects of vision. Okay, so students, we'll start with the next topic, that is defects of vision. Okay, so since we have already discussed about the human eye, we also have 3 types of defects which is mentioned in your textbook. That would be myopia, hypermetropia, and then we have cataract. Clear? So the first one, this myopia is very common, okay? This myopia is very common, and what happens in this myopia, okay? In this myopia, the nearby objects is very clear to you, okay? The short vision is very clear, but for distant vision, for far object, it appears blurred, okay? So this one is, if you are able to see the nearby object very clearly, but the far objects are not clear, okay? If the far objects are not clear, then that means you have this myopia. Clear? Now the hypermetropia is opposite of myopia. Now what happens in this hypermetropia? Now in this hypermetropia, what happens is you are able to see the distant object very clearly, but the nearby object, okay, you are unable to read books clear. So you are unable to see the nearby object. So that is hypermetropia. Clear? So this myopia is also known as short-sightedness, okay, and this is also known as long-sightedness. Clear? So this one you'll study in details in class 9 for class 10, okay? In class 10 you'll study in detail. For now you just have to know what happens in myopia. In myopia, the far objects, the distant object is not clear, okay? Distant object is not clear, the nearby object is clear. Now, hypermetropia is just opposite of that one, okay? You aren't able to see the nearby object clearly, but the distant object is fine. Now, this cataract is totally opposite. It can occur because of the old age, as well. Old age as well. Now, what happens here in cataract? What happens here is there will be a milky, okay? There will be a cloudy or foggy vision, okay? You'll have in the eye lens, there will be, it will appear as if there is a cloudy or foggy or milky. So everything would be like, see, you have seen this foggy condition, right? So the same thing will happen for those people who have cataract. So the only option for them is to have a surgery, okay? Surgery is the only option. Clear? So we are done with these defects of vision, students. I'll see you in the next class. Thank you.